Today we're going to talk about the most valuable items on the commissary list you can get in prison. Coming in at number 7, we have peanut butter. Now, peanut butter is extremely popular in prison because you have a lot of people who are working out, trying to get in shape, and peanut butter is one of the cheapest, most affordable sources of protein, and it lasts a long time. A jar of peanut butter will last anywhere from 2 to 3 days if you're making a lot of sandwiches, up to like a week if you're just having a sandwich once a day. So peanut butter is very, very common in prison, and it's also very cheap. An item like peanut butter on the store list is usually $1, maybe $2 if they raise the price since I've been out, because it's been many years. And yes, inflation does affect prison and commissary items as well. Coming in at number 6, we have squeeze cheese. Now, I don't know if they have these in every prison. I don't know if this is just like an Arizona thing. But when I was in prison, these little squeeze cheese things cost about 25 cents. And the reason they were so popular was not just because they tasted amazing inside of soups, or because you could use them in burritos and a number of other things that you would cook in prison, but because of their cost. Because it only cost 25 cents, it was easy to use them to go out and purchase cigarettes, or to purchase coffee from people, or to use them when paying a debt, for example, because you can use them in 25-cent increments. There's not a lot of items on the commissary list that are 25 cents. So squeeze cheeses are extremely popular in prison. Coming in at number 5, we have honey buns. Now, this goes without saying, honey buns have a ton of calories, so people who are trying to gain weight or bulk up will use them, because I think each honey bun was like 600 or 700 calories. And then on top of that, they just taste really good. So people would take a honey bun, and then they would spread peanut butter over the top, put it in the microwave for 10 seconds, and that would be your dessert. And even to this day, I've been out of prison for 8.5 years. I still eat honey buns. I still put peanut butter on them, put them in the microwave, and eat them just like I did when I was in prison. Coming in at number 4, we have soups. Now, these are just your traditional top ramen soups. I'm sure if you've seen other prison content and other prison videos, you're very familiar with all of the different ways that inmates will make these soups, all the different ingredients inmates will put inside of the soups. We did get very creative while we were in there, because if you just eat the soups plain, after a while it gets pretty boring. But soups are kind of like the universal currency. I think a soup on the store list back then was 60 cents. I don't know how much it costs now. But it was a universal currency, so everybody always had a lot of soups. This is something you would pay bills with. This is something you would use for trading, something you might use on the poker table. But soups were very, very popular. Coming in at number 3, we have tobacco. Now, I would say probably 70% of the inmate population smokes cigarettes. This is not good tobacco. It's not a high-quality tobacco. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find the image of the brand that we actually had while we were here in the Arizona prison system, but it was a clear bag of pipe tobacco, and you could roll about 100 cigarettes out of that thing. It cost about $3.50 on the store list, and bags of tobacco in prison were just very, very, very popular because everybody smoked in prison. Or not everybody, but the majority of people smoked in prison. Coming in at number 2, we have rolling papers. Now, you'd get these clear bags of pipe tobacco, and you would need rolling papers so you could roll those 100 cigarettes. And a lot of people in prison would sell individual cigarettes. That was kind of their hustle. They'd go out and buy 3 or 4 pouches and a couple packs of rolling papers, sell tobacco. So obviously you have to have the papers. But then people were using the rolling papers to smoke other things that weren't tobacco. A common one was spice, which was a potpourri style hallucinogenic. I really don't know too much about it, but I know it made people fall out, or they fall on their faces, and it was just some really nasty stuff. But they needed the rolling papers, so they would be able to smoke that as well. And finally, coming in at number 1 is coffee. Here in Arizona, we had Keefe coffee, and it wasn't very good. It was just like this freeze-dried instant coffee. But whereas 70% of the inmate population, I would say roughly, was addicted to tobacco, probably 90 to 95% were addicted to coffee. Everybody in prison drinks coffee. It is so common to see people at 6 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, walking around the yard or walking around the dorm with a cup of coffee in their hand. And coffee was just, it was everywhere. A bag of coffee in prison, I think, was $2 or $3. Actually, I think it was the exact same price as a pouch of tobacco, because people would trade them back and forth. And you pretty much had to have a bag of coffee at all times. When people were out of coffee, they would freak out just like tweakers. Like these guys really got addicted to coffee, and they'd be walking around the pod asking people, "Hey, you got a shot of coffee? Can I bum a shot of coffee? Can I bum a shot of coffee?" And it was pretty crazy to see how addicted people can get to coffee. In fact, even I was drinking 5-6 cups of coffee a day, probably for about a year before I realized I had a problem, and then I slowed down to only drinking 1 cup of coffee a day, and then eventually I quit drinking coffee completely, and every now and then I go back. So in fact, this morning I had a cup of coffee, but I'm no longer drinking Keefy freeze-dried coffee, so very happy about that. Those are the 7 most valuable prison items that you can get from commissary, at least here in the state of Arizona. Keep in mind it's all based on my opinion, and there's no statistical evidence backing up any of these claims. It's just a fun video I decided to shoot. If you guys liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to see more content. I like to talk about my life after prison. Fortunately, we're not eating honey buns. Well, we are eating honey buns, but fortunately we're not, drinking prison coffee or smoking pipe tobacco, and we're not in prison anymore. Life is much better now, so we can look back at these things and kind of laugh at them. I hope you guys liked the video, and I will see you next time.